بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله وأصلي وأسلم عليه وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعه بإحسان إلى يوم الدين رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي ثم أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. How are you? Sleepy? طيب. Jazakallah khair for Brother Tanveer to ask me to speak again. Actually, this topic that I would like to deliver, I was supposed to deliver somewhere else in 2-3 days. And I wrote an exclusive topic about parenting. So when I heard my name, I thought, let me bring this to you. How many of you have children? Just a show of hands. Well, alhamdulillah, so this is the right crowd. So instead of delivering like a lecture format, I am speaking only, I will rather ask you to comment. So we'll stop on every section. It's a research presentation. It has 10 points. But depending on the time, we'll see how many topics we will be able to cover. So parenting is a delicate task. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He granted us children, it is one of the most virtuous and blessed bounties. Al-awlad are considered ni'mah. They are blessings from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And as I always speak, that if they are brought up good, they're always beautiful. All children are by default beautiful. What depends? How we are going to take care of them. What environment we would love to keep them in. And what atmospheres, exposures that we try to save them from. And when I go for my teacher training workshop, the first few statements that I say, one of them is this, that if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave me a child, it's my child. And I am responsible and accountable for everything that goes on in that child. So in other words, his forehead has a label. So I give my example. Well, my child's forehead says, Ahmad's child. And because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him to me, so everything that good or bad comes in, I take the credit for, and I also bear the consequences for something which goes wrong in any child. Now, taking care of the child, we need to learn a few things. And nowadays, this is my subject that I have been reading for the last few years. And alhamdulillah, I don't claim to be the most knowledgeable, but I learned a few things, alhamdulillah. And with my friendship with the MCMC kids, alhamdulillah, they are teaching me too. So these are the outlines, so briefly, so that you should be aware what's coming up, inshallah. The first, we're going to talk about ranks and status of the one that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave child to, means primarily the father and the mother. Because mothers are more involved with children, so the second point is, we're going to talk briefly, what's the specific role of mother, what she does. And in between, I'll share with you a story of a model mother. What are the two main things that mother does? Fathers also. We're gonna switch over to knowing the primary six terminologies or concepts of raising a child. Then we're going to learn about 5 concepts which are mentioned in the Quran or in the Hadith, exclusively related to children, that in my opinion, every single father or mother must know it. I don't want to say should know it. Then number 5 is, what are the recommended places where a child should be given proper care and proper tarbiyah. Number 6 is, we're going to walk through some special characteristics of the person who is to be called a murabbi. We're going to come to the person who is a murabbi and what makes a father must be a murabbi of the child. And if he or she is not murabbi or murabbiyah, then there is a lot missing. And we also will know the child. Some few things about the child. And then we're going to talk, which is the topic is mistakes that parents do normally. So I have a list of at least 10 to 12 major tasks that are not recommended, which are considered as mistakes. And then some recommendations, and finally a daily schedule that every parent should have. Any questions? Okay. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He mentioned in the Quran, Surah Al-Isra, it's so important that the father and mother's status in the sight of Allah is very, very important. It's primary. So after commanding the believers to worship Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned the second thing He mentioned is parents. وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ. Your Lord has decreed that you worship none but Allah. وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. And parents are right there. So the parents' status is very high. Why I mention this? Because when we do so many million things to our children, it is, as I understand, my job to also tell my child, who am I? I'm your father. Allah said this. Rasulullah ﷺ said this in regards to me being your father. So it is also my job to teach you how you treat me. Manners, ethics, rules, procedures, way of talking to the father. What saddens me sometimes is the way children talk even to their fathers. And I strongly believe that maybe probably they were not being taught properly. So this is Hadith Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu anhu. He says, and I strongly recommend that every father should say this to the child. He said this, رِضَى الْوَالِدَيْنِ رِضَى اللَّهِ فِي رِضَى الْوَالِدَيْنِ. The parents' pleasure or happiness lies in the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When the parents are happy, Allah is happy. وَسَخْطُ الرَّبِّ فِي سَخْطِ الْوَالِدَيْنِ. And Allah is angry, the parents are angry, Allah is angry. So how it works? So we need to make sure that we explain this concept of happiness versus anger and wrath from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What are the things that a child should do that doesn't anger parents? And the reason why I emphasize even teaching small items is based on an Arabic masal. The Arabic is a saying. And the saying is so beautiful. It says, فَاقِدُ الشَّيْءِ لَا يُعْطِي. The person who does not possess something is not able to give. So if I do not know, how can I train my child? This means I have to learn. And Abu Darda, as I mentioned before last Monday, what did he say? Ta'allam. First thing you do, you learn. And what's going to happen? Ta'allam. You will learn it. You will know it. So you removed darkness of ignorance by acquiring ilm. فَإِذَا عَلِمْتَ. When you are done learning, knowing, then what you do? فَعْمَلْ بِمَا عَلِمْتَ. Then act upon of what you know. And Hadith of Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As radiallahu anhu, which is very powerful. عُقُوقُ الْوَالِدَيْنِ مِنَ الْكَبَائِرِ. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, disobedience to parents is a major sin. Nowadays, there are many, many examples. You know, I was like wondering, for the 5 divine rules, the first one is, وَلَا تَقُلْ لَهُمَا أُفٍّ. Do not even say uff to your parents. And this uff is nowadays, I'm honestly telling you, it's very common. Expression change. So for example, I've seen many children, and it's very common. When their parents call them a couple of times, they don't say anything, they say, again. Just this word. This is also uff. Or saying nothing, just bringing a negative expression on the face. Or feeling of disliking. That's uff. And uff, subhanAllah, is haram. So now who's going to tell them? So that's why we are, me and you, are muallimeen also. We're teachers. And when a child does not know what to do, he will not be able to do that. This is our job to teach them. Any comment? Yes?
So,
Alhamdulillah. When you open the floor, then others will talk.
So one of the common complaints I get from the younger folks is, for example, that hadith that Allah is angry when the parents are angry. What if the parents are doing something, maybe incorrect? For example, let's say they're forcing you to marry such and such person. Technically, you can't force.
Brother Tanvir, you're going faster. It's coming up. I'm coming to that. It's coming in the second section, inshallah. Any other question? If you take part, it will give me strength to kind of bother you more, inshallah. Now, the second section.
Should I have a question?
Sure. No.
So, I think
just do me a favor, just raise your voice a little bit.
So one of the challenges that I think, sometimes parents may face is from a little older kids, when you try to teach them, they might think, oh, I know it already.
Yeah, I know culture, I call it, yeah.
I know it. I mean, you were just repeating. And, although, in this day and age, it doesn't make sense. So something like that, they might have that, understanding also that, okay, this is kind of repetition and, it's not necessary.
It's coming up, inshallah. When we start the mistakes session, we're going to talk about that, inshallah. Any more comments? Right. Now, the role of the mother. The mother is a mother, but then she is muallima. She is the first fundamental, foundational teacher. She teaches. She is murabbiya. She is the one who does the tarbiyah. Murabbi is the one who does the tarbiyah. Manners, character, ethics, rules, system, discipline, ta'aleem. All this is called tarbiyah. Nowadays, this system of education, which we see, is full of education. There is ta'aleem, ta'aleem, ta'aleem. Sometimes it does not have enough tarbiyah, training. It reminds me that at the time of Tabi'een, after Sahaba, there used to be a specialized people who were called mu'addibin. So all these children, they go to their different places of learning in the morning. In the afternoon, around like Asr time, the parents, they used to leave their children in the houses of those professionally trained mudarribin. And they were especially